Hey guys, Ningen here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and of course after yesterday's Gogeta and the Fusion Team Spotlight video, we are now moving on to LR, Vegito and the Potara Team Spotlight video. Just so you know, we go over both of these units, give you guys an idea on the team build up, and maybe it will help you guys decide which of the two you want to go for depending on what units you have. So it's literally right around the corner now, so I don't know about you guys, but I am super hyped for all this stuff to start dropping. So this is the SSR form that you will summon from the banner, if you're lucky. The Eternal Rivalry Goku and Vegeta. Just like the Gogeta version, they only have an Int types leader skill until they get to the LR phase. We won't go over the details of them since you're not going to be keeping them in that stage for very long. So you need 35 of the new Vegito medals, just like the Gogeta we talked about yesterday. There will be an event specifically for the LR Vegito, and you need 35 of those medals. Awaken him to his TUR form. The TUR arts are so awesome. The LR arts are great, but both of the TURs have really cool art. And once you get to that stage, you need 35 more of the new ones and 35 of the old ones, the actual physical Super Vegito ones, because the Gogeta actually kept the same medals but just gave more, whereas the Super Vegito, when the physical one came out, he has his own unique medals, and those are the ones that you need to get. So just like Gogeta, you can farm those now, and his event is on every day, so you can have those medals ready and waiting. And then once you use those, you of course get the final LR form of Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan Vegeta. So they are the Potara category lead, HP and attack 170% and defense 130%, so just the same as the Gogeta but for the Potara category. And Int types, key +3, HP, attack and defense 90%, so same again but Int types instead of physical. So super attacks are the Kamehameha and Big Bang attack at 12 or 12 to 17 key, which does colossal damage, and then final strategy at 18 plus key, which is raise attack for 1 turn, causes mega colossal damage. You're probably seeing quite a few similarities. The units are actually very similar. Well, in fact, before they transform, I think, apart from these guys have the Saiyan lineage instead of Golden Warrior, but other than that they have all the same links, they have the same passive, the same super attack details, so the units are very similar before they fuse. So once he fuses, he becomes LR Super Vegito, again just like Gogeta, none of this changes the leader skill details. But he gets the Big Bang attack from 12 to 17 key, which is colossal damage, and the final Kamehameha at 18 plus key, mega colossal damage to enemy, raises allies attack by 30% for 1 turn. So if he's going in that first slot, which is very likely, he buffs everybody else. His passive is fully recovers HP once only. We covered that yesterday in the Gogeta video. That's because you need to be below half health for them to actually fuse. So when they do, they very conveniently put you back up to full health. So counters with tremendous power upon receiving normal attacks, just like the super and physical Vegitos. Attack and defense plus 150% at the start of the turn, and key +3 in addition to, for 3 key for Rainbow Spheres. So again, those parts, the percentages and the key is again just the same as Gogeta. Basically once they fuse, they take on the abilities of their previous iterations. So the Gogeta is effective against everyone, lowers attack and defense with his super attack, and the Vegito raises allies attack with his super attack and has the counter mechanic. So that makes the Vegito, when the units have fused, this is probably what makes the Vegito the better unit on his own, like not taking into account team builds or anything like that, because obviously he's still going to be an insanely hard hitting unit, and then he has those counter attacks, which we've already seen from the AGL physical and even the Vegito Blue. The counter attacks have the potential to deal out a ridiculous amount of damage, even from a top tier TUR. So when you have one of the best LRs in the game with crazy high stats, his counters are going to deal out insane amounts of damage. So, and so that is pretty much the details of the Super Vegito. There's not a huge amount to go over that's very different to the Gogeta. It's mainly once they fuse that they change and become a different sort of unit. Just like the Gogeta, they can link up with Super Vegitos, so you know that we are going to feature those on the team. So if we go over to the gameplay, just like we did yesterday, we took on the Vegito event with the Fusion team, so we're taking on the Gogeta event with the Potara team. So the first unit that of course is present is the Kefla. This is because, of course, as of right now, she is the only Potara category leader. She's not bad. She's not a Dokkan Fest exclusive, so you have the possibility to pull her on every banner. She does multiple attacks, which can become super attacks, which is a very typical mechanic for physical units. She is an orb changer, changes int key spheres to physical key spheres. So that could be useful for your rotations, although it doesn't really specifically help out the LR because they're the wrong color orbs. But if you're changing a huge amount of the field into those kind of orbs, then it definitely increases your chance of getting those 18 key supers off, especially if there are some decent amount of rainbow spheres around as well. So after yesterday's video, I'm going to try and take the event gameplay a little bit on the slow side, since I didn't think we would blast through it quite as quickly. So the problem with Kefla being on the team is she doesn't share really any links with the LR, apart from Super Saiyan. She doesn't have Fierce Battle, she doesn't have Prepared for Battle. Of course, once they fuse, she has Fused Fighter, but that is basically it. So, I mean, honestly, depending on the units you do have, Kefla is actually probably one of the units from the current build of the team that I would cut. Because I have some very good options for what could almost be considered the optimal team once the LR Vegito is in the game. So, I have a lot of options. I would probably drop Kefla. But that is because one of the units that I do have, which I know not everyone is going to have, who should be... Okay, he was in the third slot, so he's not popping up now. So it was going to be LR Goku Black. But let's talk about the STR Rose, since he is on the rotation right now. I've done a video on him before. Essentially, he is one of the best TURs in the game. Because he buffs his allies with not only defense but also ki, as well as giving them an attack boost once he performs his super attack. He then also debuffs superclass enemies' attack and defense by being on the field. He of course does immense damage, so you'll still see him hitting incredibly hard, and he's a strength unit, so even with no dupes, his free ability is crits. So he is a ridiculously good unit. Even if you don't have the LR Black and Zamasu, he is a very good unit on this team. Mine does have a dupe, so you can see there the additional attack going off. He does have type advantage against the Viku, but you can see, even without crits, he just absolutely destroys this man. So, yes, he is a very, very powerful unit. Obviously, you can use the AGL Rose if you don't have the STR one. It kind of depends whether you want to mix and match these super and extreme types. So, we've got the LR Black and Zamasu on rotation now. One of the good bonuses with the LR Black and Zamasu and the Rose is that they do have Prepared for Battle as one of their main key links. So the LR Vegito doesn't have as much of a problem linking up with everybody on this team as the Gogeta does on his team. The LR Black and Zamasu, obviously fantastic unit. They are an LR themselves, so if you chose to have them in a rotation with the LR Vegito, you're going to be getting that Prepared for Battle, but you're also going to be getting Fierce Battle and the Legendary Power link. Now, those are the only ones they will share, because the rest of their links are very extreme unit based. So, depending on how good your LR Black and Zamasu is, and whether or not you pull dupes for Vegito, it might actually be worth having a rotation of LR Black and Zamasu and Rose, and then a rotation of the LR Vegito with a link partner for him, rather than having the LR on both rotations. Obviously it depends, because the LR Vegito potentially is better than the LR Black and Zamasu if both of them have no dupes. It kind of depends on the event that you're taking on. Obviously if you're taking on a physical event where your LR Vegito is going to have type disadvantage, maybe the Goku Black would be better. But let's be fair, the LR Vegito and Gogeta are so stupidly broken that they're probably better. Even I wouldn't be surprised if the LR Vegito with no dupes is better than a Black and Zamasu with one dupe, considering how ridiculously powerful they are. But there you go. So on this rotation, we have the support unit for the Potara team. He's actually very good. He fits on a lot of teams. He's on the Majin Buu saga as well. Obviously can be used on a tech team. And that is this base form Vegito. His super attack is farmable from the first stage of the Vegito event. So that is a little bit of extra damage. Obviously support units are not really there to dish out the damage. But if you can get your units to super attack 10 without Kais, you should maximize that damage output. So he gives attack and defense plus 30% for all allies with his passive just by being on the field, and then he does also raise allies attack by 25% for one turn when he performs his super attack. So in this particular rotation, the STR Rose on the back end is going to hit harder because the tech Vegito is doing his super attack beforehand. So there's Kefla getting in some additionals. Hopefully Rose won't go too mad and just completely destroy Gogeta here. But the last couple of units that we obviously need to talk about are the other Vegitos themselves. We have the physical Super Vegito on the team. He is going to be on the Vegito banner, so hopefully you will be able to pull a copy or two of him. He is a fantastic unit. He has that mechanic where he has to build up his attack every time he gets hit. So he gets 10% attack raise each time he gets hit, up to a maximum of 100%. So he's got to be hit 10 times to truly bring out the potential of his attack boost. But he of course has the counter attack mechanic as well, which means that each time you're getting hit, he's going to be hitting harder and harder every time he counter attacks, which is really good. He has prepared for battle as his main key link. He got a little bit of a shaft compared to the AGL one because the AGL also has shocking speed, but that's not a very common link on this team. So him just having prepared for battle, Super Saiyan, Fierce Battle, he shares all of those links with the LR, so he fits in very nicely as well. Obviously we've mentioned the AGL one. You could absolutely use the AGL one as a stand-in for him if you don't have the physical one, but both of them, in the AGL one as well, are on the Vegito banner, so hopefully you will be able to pull at least one of them, because you definitely want a Super Saiyan Vegito on that team to link up with the LRs, because like I said, once they transform they will also link up, and they share the links like Fused Fire, Power Bestowed by God, and yeah, just become even better of a rotation. And considering the fact that if you use one of the Super Vegitos, both of them are then able to counter, so you're going to have some insane damage output in that rotation. So this man punching Gogeta through the mountain right now is the last mention, even though he is probably one of the first picks for the team, is the LR Vegito Blue. Now I picked the LR over the physical and the tech one. I mean, personally I don't have the tech one, but the tech one only has Over in a Flash as his main key link, which obviously not only do the LRs not have, but pretty much nobody else on this team has. So there could be a problem with linking if you bring the tech. Whereas if you bring the STR, he has prepared for battle, he obviously has Super Saiyan, he of course has legendary power because he is an LR. So he's going to share a lot of links with the LR. And then once they transform, he of course is a Vegito Potara unit, so he has Fused Fire and Power Bestowed by God. So lots and lots of links active with the LR. He is definitely a good link partner for them if you don't have one of the Vegitos, or if you want to run two rotations with the LRs, you could definitely run one of them paired with LR Vegito Blue, and then one of them paired with either the AGL or the physical Super Vegito, and you're going to have a very powerful set of rotations. So if we go back to the wiki here briefly, so this is the Potara category in its fullest. Obviously, if you don't have the LR Goku Black, there's many other options. If you still want to run the STR Rose, because he's a great unit on his own, you can find great link partners for him in either the Zamasu's, Merged Zamasu, or the physical Goku Black, which I know a lot of people have pulled tons of copies of him because he's been around for ages. The Int Vegito, he's probably the worst base form Vegito, but he makes a decent backup if you don't have the tech or some of the other units in the category. Because unfortunately, once we drop below here, there's not a lot of solid options. The Candy Vegito, if you have him, I guess can fill a slot because he is a free-to-play unit, but he dodges fairly consistently. I believe the event that you farmed him from came back during the JP 3 years, so we might see this event come back if you don't have him. And then we just have a few random SRs like the Gogeta, Supreme Kai, and the free-to-play mode Zamasu. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend them if you don't have any other Fusion Team, Potara category units. Obviously, Vegito having that secondary int part of his leader skill means that you can absolutely run solid intelligence units instead of weak Potara category units. People like LR Gohan, if you have him. Even the intelligence Super Gogeta, who doesn't fit on the category, he'll get that 90%. He's an incredibly good unit, even with a 90% lead, and he does have good links to bridge the gap between people on your team. So, yes, very, very good options. I'm glad that they're doing this with the category leads and giving them these secondary leader skills that are actually a decent boost, because it definitely opens up your team building options. As you can see, the Potara category is about as restricted as the Fusion category, when you consider that a lot of these units are different versions of the same character. So, unfortunately, the banner does have the 2 Vegitos in it, so you are, if you're lucky, you are likely to pull one of these 2 guys on your hunt for the LR Vegito, and then that will help you to build that team very effectively. A turn with a transformed LR Vegito and then a Super Saiyan Vegito, both countering, is just going to be absolutely ridiculous. So, but yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, if you are hyped for Vegito. Are you going for Vegito over Gogeta? If you are, tell me why. If you're going for Gogeta over Vegito, again, let me know why. Let me know how you're going to build your team. Are you going to use the extreme units? I mean, even if you have LR, Black and Zamasu and the Rose, there are still plenty of super units. So it all depends on how you want to build your team. I feel like even with the unit pool being similarly restrictive, I feel like you do have a few more options to play around with on this team than you do on the Fusion team. So let me know what you guys think. I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback. So that is going to be it for this video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like and subscribe for more regular Dokkan Battle content. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at the Masked Ningen, or join the Discord. The link is in the description. We're on the road to 1,000 subs here on the channel, so hashtag 1,000 Mortals Plan all over the comments. And I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.